Good evening again, and welcome to episode 4 of Dinner from the Dining Car. Tonight, we're going to be making the B&O Railroad's pork chops Normandy. You're going to need the following. 1, pork chops. Now these are vacuum sealed, so that's why they look a little strange. Each pork chop is about 3/4 of an inch thick. You don't want thin pork chops on this because they'll dry out. They're going to bake in the oven, so you want them thicker. Next, you're going to need cinnamon. We have some nice ground cinnamon here that we're going to put on it. You'll also need a Granny Smith apple. This apple you're going to have to peel, core, and then slice into slices about 1/4 of an inch thick. This is going to take a lot of time if you do it manually. Myself, I have a little jig that I bought some time ago because my wife likes to make apple pies for the holidays, and it'll peel, core, and slice this apple in about 20 seconds. So I'm going to be using it off camera. You'll also need brown sugar. Now, normally I would substitute brown sugar Splenda for this, being diabetic, but they were out at my local store, so I had to settle for just brown sugar. You're also going to need apple juice, or preferably, if you can get it, apple cider. If you have to go with an apple juice, get one that's 100% juice. Otherwise, it's going to be too watery. Apple cider would be naturally better. You're also going to need a little bit of butter. This will be sliced in little tiny tabs and put on top of the pork chops while it's baking. When it comes out of the oven, you're going to need some cornstarch. This is because we're going to take the apple juice, cinnamon, butter, and everything that cooks up in these pork chops, and we're going to make a little gravy out of it to go on top of the pork chops. So, anyway, that's about it for the ingredients. You'll also need a saucepan, a skillet to brown the pork chops, and you'll need a casserole pan to put in the pork chops and everything else. You're not going to need the cover, so you don't need the cover for the casserole pan. Anyway, that's it. Let me get changed into more appropriate cooking clothing, and I'll be back. Thanks. Okay, hello, I'm back. Now we're going to actually start the process of making the pork chops. We have a situation. Okay. You basically just have to brown the pork chops just a little bit. And again, notice those are good sized, thick pork chops. That way they don't dry out in the oven while they're cooking. But you're going to brown them just enough to kind of seal up the outside. Just to turn them a little white, get them ready. While those are browning, you're going to make a rub from the brown sugar and the cinnamon. For each pork chop, you're going to use a tablespoon of brown sugar, and we have 3 pork chops, so we're using 3. And you're going to use a teaspoon of cinnamon. Well, the teaspoon won't go in there, so we'll drop back 10 yards in front. So we have half a teaspoon here, so for each pork chop, again, you're going to put in 1 teaspoon of the cinnamon. Okay. Then you're going to whisk that all together to make a rub, which you're going to rub onto the pork chops when you get them into the casserole dish. Oh, please fit. These don't fit, we have a situation on our hands. Wow, those are big pork chops. Get out of there. Oh, this is going to get interesting. I have to find a way to make these things fit. I may have to go with a bigger pan. Okay, give me a second to get out a bigger pan. Rinse it out. And say we want to hit this with a little cooking spray. And okay, now we'll use a bigger pan. That's much better. Okay. What you want to do, is again, this is the brown sugar and the cinnamon whisked together. You're going to take that, you're going to pour it on the pork chop. Don't worry if you have leftover, we're going to use it later. And you're going to kind of rub it onto the chops. Just so it kind of sticks in. And here's where it gets fun. Wash my hands and dry them. You're going to grab your apple juice. Again, if you have apple cider, that's preferable, but apple juice will do. You have to pour the apple juice into the pan just so it gets to the top of the pork chops. Okay. Then you're going to take your apples, which you have already peeled, sliced, and cored. You're going to put those on top of the pork chops. You can be a little liberal with the apples. If you like a lot of apples, go for it. If you don't like a lot of apples, well, that's your problem. So you'll just cover the chops with apple pieces. And then you'll take some melted butter and just put a dab on each pork chop. Works out to about a tablespoon per pork chop. This is going to melt while it's cooking, and oh boy, is it going to be yummy if it can come off the knife. Okay, come off the knife. There you go. And there you have it. I'm going to put it over here because this one seems a little short. Yeah, the other ones seem a little short too. I'm going to just go a little bit more because I like butter. Okay. That's it on the preparation for the pork chops. Once my oven heats up to 350, which ought to be just about now, you will take it. There you go. Wow, that's hot. You take this and you put it in your oven. Now that's going to cook for 45 minutes. Now I'm going to start my carrots, my rice, and we'll see you in about 45 minutes to show you the results. Okay, it's 45 minutes later. Oh, it smells really good in here. Let's pull this out. Oh my gosh, look at those pork chops. Yummy. Alright, now here's what you need to do. We have a saucepan here. You're going to ladle some of this juice and other mixture. Oh man, that smells good. And you're going to put that into a saucepan. And I think that ought to be plenty. And then you're going to add your remaining, well, part of your remaining cinnamon and brown sugar, maybe a little left. And you're going to add, once I get it open, you're going to add about a tablespoon of cornstarch. Oh, that worked out nice. Going to turn this on high. Add about a tablespoon of cornstarch. And you're going to grab your whisk. And you're just going to start whisking this around. And you're going to wait till it boils. And it will, once it boils, you'll turn it down, it'll start to thick up, or it'll start to thicken up. Oh, in fact, it's thickening up already. And you're going to have yourself a nice apple-flavored gravy. Oh, wow, that is really thickening up. And this you'll just pour right on top of the pork chops. I know I shouldn't do this, but I have to taste this. That was quick. Look at that. Nice, thick gravy. We need plates.
I'll get plates.
Just have to sample a little bit of this. Oh, yummy. Here, you want a little sample? No? You don't know what you're missing. That is really, really good. Okay. That's about it for this recipe. I'm not going to bother showing plating it because I've still got to get the rice done. So that's the pork chops Normandy. Again, thanks for watching, and thanks to our lovely daughter Rhonda for her camera work.